Hey, do you want the secret to chipping and pitching? Then watch closely. Did you see it? Watch it again. Notice how my lead wrist rises through impact, which is the #1 thing that amateurs do around the greens, causing inconsistency and not getting that ball nice and tight. But don't worry, we're gonna crush your goals this year because I've got one drill, I've got one feel, and we're gonna get you dialed in around the greens using only rubber bands. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Team KSG because I'm very excited about this video today. I know it's gonna lower your scores. We're gonna get control and we're gonna show you how that lead wrist completely controls your chipping and your pitching. Now look, I understand that when you go to the golf course, you've got limited time. So you wanna hit drivers, you wanna hit all your irons, get out on the golf course and go play. I totally get it, that's fine. But if you wanna shoot your lowest scores possible, you have to get tight around the green. And that lead wrist is the key, is the secret. Let's dive into it a little bit. It's important to have the same angle of attack and club face angle as you're chipping and pitching. And the reason why is because you want the same trajectory, the same ball flight. Now, how many times can you ask yourself, I chipped around the green, but I was just 15, 20, 30 feet away. I had varying distances. Some are long, some are short. And that usually is due to the fact that your face angle is either increased or decreased at impact. Most of the time, it's increased because people tend to flip, just like I did in that video. So you want to be sure to have the exact same ball flight when you're chipping and pitching so that you can predict where that ball should land. You need a landing spot. You can't be predictable and consistent if you don't have the same trajectory. If you're going high on some and low on others, you'll never reach your potential. So what is the feel? If my hand tends to flip at impact, go backwards in this position, that will increase the loft of the club. And if you hit it, you're only going to hit the bottom, probably 2 parts grooves on your club face, or just the leading edge right here, and you get those nice little worm burners, those ones that shoot across the green and drive you insane. So how can you control that lead wrist? We want to keep that wrist in front of the club head through impact. Through impact. We don't want any adjustments. Just how we set up is how we want to deliver the club into the ball. Now this is old school, but it's super easy. And as I mentioned, all we need is rubber bands. So Lee Trevino used to do this back in the day. Very easy. All you do is you put a rubber band over your lead wrist, or 2 if you want a little more tension. Then you grip the club at the top and you take that rubber band and you put it right around the grip end of the club. So what does that do? It creates tension. If I tend to flip through impact, that is going to get pulled away from my wrist and the rubber band wants to bring it back. So just having that tension right here against the grip gets me that feel that I'm looking for through the shot, and also, more importantly, maintaining that feel through the shots. You should practice with this quite often. This is a feel. So, if we're going to put a little more description to it, your lead wrist needs to be pointed towards your target. Wherever your landing spot is, this back part of your hand is going to be pointed right down towards that target. That keeps your hand ahead of the club head and gets us nice and consistent. When we start losing control is with that back part of that hand starts rising above, looking at the sky. Notice my club head rising. We will hit a lot of thin shots that way. We won't have much spin, just really inconsistent trajectory. So I fully encourage you to practice this feeling. We want our hands ahead of the club head, and we want to maintain it, feeling that tension. Can you do that with every club? Heck yeah, you can do that with every club. You can do it with your higher lofted clubs, lower lofted, chipping or pitching, depending on how close you are to the green. This is the basic shot for consistent strikes. We're not talking about flop shots. We're not talking about any of that kind of stuff. But if you can repeat this motion around the green, hit your landing spots, then we're good to go. So the feeling is going to be down and forward towards our target. It's not going to be up and backwards away from our targets. One more time. Our feelings, our hands are going to go down and forward through to our target, not up and away this way. So that is the feeling. Don't be afraid to take some turf and divots and grass when you're doing these moves. Don't be afraid at all. You're not going to be too aggressive or anything. You're going to have better contact, better strikes. So if you question yourself with that, and if you want to feel like you want to get a little more advanced in this move and use some more rubber bands, here's a great way to do it. I like to combine this drill with throwing 2 rubber bands on my club face about 1 ball width apart. We want to have the same center contact every single time. Golf is an easy sport to play. Anybody can play it. It's extremely hard to get good at. And when you have to ask yourself what your goals are. The lower you want to go in this sport in terms of scores, the more detailed you have to be. So if you can put 2 rubber bands on the outside of your wedge just like this, hit that center strike every single time, because now we're good and structured in our stroke. Then you're going to be really off to a good start. Hit that same ball spot, or those same trajectories, same landing spots, and all of that. Now, what about the drill? So the feeling is down and forward, not up and back. But what about the drill? So if we make sure that we got our same trajectory, no problem, awesome. We can have a predictable ball flight. When you have a predictable ball flight, you can have a predictable landing spot. So when you're out on the chipping green, you're going to lay down 2 targets. One's going to be at 30 yards, one's going to be at 20 yards. So typically I like to put a towel in front at about 20 yards and a basket at about 30 yards. And I flip the basket upside down just to make it even harder. It's only about a 9 or 10 inch wide top to that. That's kind of next level, but hey, you want to play your best golf? You land on top of that 9 inch or 10 inch lid of that bucket, you are cruising. But here is the challenge. When you have those 2 targets, you're going to go back and forth to them. Meaning you're going to try and hit one and then you're going to switch right to the other one. You might have to change clubs, and that's totally fine. No problem, just have them right there and ready. But the challenge is to hit both targets in a row before it's done. So either A, you hit the towel first and then the bucket, or you hit the bucket first and then the towel. We've got a goal. You're getting your trajectory down, you're getting your precision down, and you're practicing pressure, which is humongo in this game if you want to play the best round you've ever done. So we're getting really specific now. When you're doing that drill out there, you can very well use those rubber bands on your wrist to make sure that your form is perfect. And I highly encourage that. Repetition is confidence. Confidence is repetition. This is not rocket science. It's just being effective. But make sure you take the time to practice these little touch drills, because over the winter time, like right now, we're just getting into March. The first thing to get lost is your touch and feel. So this is one of the first areas to go to right away when the weather starts turning. So the feel, we're going to feel like our wrist and hand is forward of the club head, staying ahead of that club head through impact. Therefore, we have the same loft every single time as we strike the ball. It's going to be down and forward, not up and back. And the drill is going to be laying the towel down at 20 yards and a bucket at 30 yards. And you have to hit those things consecutively, but you have to alter the shot while you do it. All those things wrapped together practices form, it practices pressure, and makes it super efficient. Doesn't matter if you're only out there for a short amount of time, you're being intentional just like you would on the golf course, and you're trying to shoot your lowest scores and trying to hit your goals. So there you have it. Those are going to be the keys right there. The secret move that's going to get you consistently awesome around the greens. And if you like that video, be sure to like and subscribe to Team KSG, because we come out with videos on a weekly basis and we're here to help you. Tune in the next week and we'll see you then.